Hello guys, this is Ark and this is the patch 13.22 nodes. It's supposed to be one of the biggest patches of the year and probably maybe even in I would say even the history of League of Legends because there is a big patch, a big change coming up, which is basically mages are getting their auto attacks buffed, kind of. Mainly, they get more attack speed or their auto attack projectile is faster. So this means that they can potentially auto attack faster now and CS better, or even like be smoother auto attacks in lane in general. Which means that there is a high chance that mages, like Victor, for example, they do not need to take an attack speed rune anymore, which frees them up to either to either take ability haste or adaptive force. And I think this is a big change because early on in the game it can give mages a lot more power, and I'm really curious to see how this changes the meta. Because if mages become easier to play, easier to farm with, means that they get to snowball easier, and um, of course, again, this changes the dynamics of the game. But before we get into that, though, let's go over the champion by champion changes. So brand passive monster damage modifier increased, E damage increased. So passive damage to monsters increased from 20% to 30%. So a small jungle buff to brand. E 60 to 165, 65 to 165 to 60 to 180. So it gets slightly less base damage on level 1, but gets um, quite a lot more later on, especially an extra 10% AP ratio in every rank, and 15 base damage at rank 5. So this might give some incentive to brand to max E second if they're not doing this already. Maybe even if you want to poke in lane, maybe you want to go max E instead of max W, because E is more reliable to land. Just target something and it goes off, because you might miss your W sometimes. So there is a situation where E maxing might get to be a viable way for brand to go now. But I'm pretty sure that Q will be the last spell you max now. Briar, I think this is enough. Q damage and armor strength decreased, art damage decreased. Q physical damage is no, it's not the same. It's 60 to 220 to 60 to 200, so less base damage, and armor reduction 10 to 26% to 10 to 20%. So this is a significant nerf on your Q. And then R certain death. Physical damage 150 to 500 goes to 150 to 450, so minus 25 damage at rank 1 at rank 2, and minus 50 at rank 3. And then the AD ratio goes down from 180 110% of bonus AD to 75% bonus AD, which is generally, those nerfs are generally big for lethality Briar, and for sure even like Stride Breaker, and Blade of the Ring King also gets affected by this. I think Briar is strong for solo queue right now, and these changes are fine. Dr. Mundo, E passive bonus damage increased. E uh, passive bonus AD 2 to 3% to 2 to 3.4%. So with all the changes to like Titanic Hydra and Heartsteel at the beginning of the season, Mundo was nerfed to cover up some of his potential power with max HP stacking and all that. Apparently, Mundo is not that strong right now, so they're buffing C. That's fine. Gragas, here we go again. Cool E Body Slam cooldown refund on hit, 3 seconds to 40% of remaining cooldown. Okay, this is massive. We did the math for you. Instead of 3 seconds, is now 5.6 to 4.8 scaling with ability haste. Um, hmm. And add explosives cask travel time 0.55 seconds to 0.5 seconds. So the R travel time is fine, means that, with all the tenacity going around, you can now E and have slightly more time to use your R. But for the E, hmm. So yeah, overall, I think this change to body slam is so that if you stack a lot of ability haste, Gragas has the potential to like permanently E somebody or like close to that. This change just kind of like changes this. So now you're not able to permanently E, but this gives Gragas a lot of more power early on, where he gets a lot of E refund. So we're gonna see how this plays out. I think this is an overall buff for Gragas, unless yeah you're going for like the permanent E type of build. So that's a nerf for you. Graves E bonus armor per stack decreased 4 to 16 to 2 to 14. So this is quite a big nerf for Graves, especially at rank 1. And considering this is a spell you max second, you're going to be having 2 less armor per stack for pretty much the entirety of the early game. This means that Graves might be having slightly less HP for like scuttle fights and all that. I think Graves is in a decent spot overall, but I do not think that he needs nerfs right now, especially considering that there are other junglers that are so much more powerful right now. Janna, oh well, I'm gonna read this later. It's kind of like a Janna revert to like 2 years ago or so. Um, Gesante Q Dofo strikes required bonus health for minimum cast time 1200 to 600 or 1200 to 1600. Um, so yeah, now he needs more health to get his Q out faster. That's fine. Kassadin E. So he goes from 85% bonus from 85% AP to 80% AP, so slightly less damage on his E. Rift Walk, 6% AP to 50% AP. So obviously they buffed Kassadin for some reason, like a couple patches ago. Now they are nerfing him. Like, what did you expect it will happen? Nyla, Q, bonus attack speed 10 to 6% based on level to 10 to 50%. So slightly less attack speed on her Q, which is it's based on levels though, so you're not gonna feel it as much early on. It's gonna be a nerf later on, of course. And our apotheosis, 112 bonus AD to 80% bonus AD, and maximum total damage 232 bonus AD to 200 bonus AD. So the damage of your ultimate gets decreased quite a lot, especially on attack damage heavy builds. I'm not sure if nerfing Nyla is the way to go, because I do not think Nyla is that strong. It kind of gets a bit more popular now in pro play, but I do not think Nyla really needs nerfs at the moment, considering Kaisa exists, for example, right? Ramos W, 30 bonus armor to 40. Okay, slightly more armor when his W is up. That's fine. Senna Q Piercing Darkness, 30 to 170 to 30 to 150. So she loses some damage on her Q. Healing, 40 to 100 to 40 to 80. So she misses some damage on her Q and some healing on her Q as well as she levels up. I think that Senna was kind of powerful for a very long time now, but it was kind of under the rug, so to speak. And once she started getting a bit popular with like worlds and all that, people probably like picked her up more often and realized it's good. So now she gets slightly nerfed. Um, I think it's a sizable nerf though. I mean, it's a spell that she maxes first, and having like 20 less damage or HQ and 20 less healing as well. I think it's a big deal, and I'm not sure if she needs that, but I mean, considering, the whole like anti-snowballing changes like couple patches ago, it means that Senna can now scale up even more reliably, and probably that's why they're changing her anyway. Seraphine passive damage per node 4 to 25 based on level plus 7% AP to 5 to 30 based on level plus 5% AP. So this means that as a support, she deals more damage now because she generally gets less AP but more base damage. Uh, so that's okay, I guess. And Q high note cooldown 9 to 5 seconds to 10 to 5. Okay, so I think this is the spell that she opens with at level 1, and the spell that she usually maxes first if she wants to be like a big poker. And I'm not sure if this is a big change though. Like the like 1 second at rank 1 and then going down to pretty much the same. It's not a big deal. W surround sound, 25%. The shield is 25% AP to 20% AP. So they're trying to change Seraphine from like a supportive type of champion to more of like a solo laner, I think, with like more AP ratios and all that, because they nerfed her W shield and heal in the last couple patches, but they are buffing her E and her Q, or not her Q, but her passive here. So, um, Seraphine is a mess. I'm not gonna comment on that anymore. Tamken's passive bonus damage decreased. So the per level scaling is the same. The AP scaling is the same, but instead of 5% bonus health, he gets 4% of his bonus health. So um, Kent is generally a champion that gets quite tanky, like 3k HP in the mid game. So losing out on roughly 12 damage in his auto attacks because of this, or not what, not 12, but 30 damage in his auto attacks because of this, it can be quite significant. So yep. Ziggs, okay, base armor 22 to 18. That's very low here. But I mean, Ziggs is quite a safe champion, so I can see that, he doesn't need that much armor anyway. Basic attack frame 20.8% to 20%. What? Okay, it is what it is. So here we go, the biggest changes here. Attack speed changes. We're broadly doing three things here. First, we're bringing basic attack wind-ups. This is how long the attack animation their attack actually fires. Wait, this is how long into the attack animation their attack actually fires. Okay, up to a new baseline with new exceptions for champions who have innate basic attack replacements, or have a weapon that implies slow basic attacks. Second, we're bringing up missile speeds to a new minimum as well, which should especially help with last hitting minions. Third, we're trying to alleviate the desire to run attack speed charge on mages who do not have any inherent attack speed synergies with their kit, through modifying their level 1 attack speed ratios, the degree with champion scale. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Um, Ari, slightly less attack wind up, that's fine. Attack speed ratio less. Base attack speed is the same, but her attack speed growth is bigger now. What? So she gets. Huh? What the hell? She gets more attack speed per level, but it's the same at level 1, so how is this faster? What? Okay, base attack speed for Anivia. That's a lot higher. Anivia needs this. I mean, Ari doesn't really need any attack speed buffs because her auto attacks are fine. Anivia needs this. Annie definitely needs this. Base attack speed and attack speed ratio from 0.58 it goes to like 0.61 and 0.625. This is massive for Annie. Attacks, basic attack missile speed 1200 to 1500. Again, these are all massive for Annie. You can probably hold your stun now, your passive stun, and not farm with Q. You can go with this. This also helps Annie with her auto attack poking in lane. So I'm expecting Annie to be quite stronger now. Um, Casio at the missile speed 1200 1500 again needs this. Heimerdinger base attack speed 625 to 658, similar to Anivia here, needs this. Um, Ivern attack windup is faster, that's fine. Carthus missile speed 1200 to 1500. LeBlanc attack speed buff and attack speed ratio buff. Um, Attack speed growth is wait. Oh no, don't do this again. Oh come on, man. What are you doing, Riot? Wait, this is static save all over again. You nerfed LeBlanc to this because of static save, and now you're doing this. What are you doing? Why? Why are you doing this? She has more base attack speed now. She has the same ratio as before. She now has better attack speed scaling than before. Why? Oh man, Lissandra. I think her auto attacks are fine, and she also has good spells of wave clear. So attack speed growth 136% to 1.5%. That's fine. Faster wind up for Nico. Faster missile speed for Oriana, but Oriana is already fine with your auto attacks. Rumble, much faster wind up. This is great. Rise. Yep. There we go. Okay. Singed. More attack speed ratio, faster wind up. That's fine. Syndra, the typical attack speed buff, base attack speed buff, of course, same for Talia. Teemo, that's an interesting one. Missile speed 1300 to 1500. This is big for Teemo. I don't think Teemo really needs these changes because she usually builds some form of attack speed anyway. So I'm not sure if this is necessary. Twisted Fate. Uh, a lot of wind up is decreased now, 24.4% to 20%. That's massive for TF. Veigar, missile speed 1100 to 1500. This is massive for Veigar. This is bigger than other ones because most of the other ones had like 1200. Veigar had 1100, so this is even bigger for Veigar, which is big. Vel'Koz, oh, cringe. Uh, okay, more attack speed and more attack speed growth. Where is Victor, by the way? I saw Victor main. I feel offended that he doesn't exist here. Like you have pretty much every mage in the game, apart from maybe Azir, but Azir has instant attack, so it's fine. Where is Victor? Why is Victor left out of this? He takes attack speed runes as well. Why is he left out? What? Did they forget about him? Wait, is there any other mage that is missing from this? I maybe Vex? I think Vex has already decent auto attacks. I mean, Victor auto attacks are fine, kind of, but everybody else gets buffed, so why shouldn't Victor get buffed as well? I don't know. That's so racist towards robots, you know? Um, okay, more attacks to Xerath and etc. And more attack speed for Zoe and Zillion, and more missile speed for Zillion as well. It's fine. Vision adjustments. Okay, ping changes. I'm not gonna read that. Um, Aram, okay. Next Blitz, okay. Quick play. Oh, it's gonna be released in quick play. Instead of blind pick, you're gonna be having this, okay. Um, oh, good skin, Symmetric Sword rotation. Nice. Probably gonna get this one. Anyway, so back to Janna, by the way. Where's Janna? Here we go. So, like, couple of years ago, they changed Janna from like a poking mage in the bottom lane, like mage slash support with her W and all that. They changed her to like a full e-girl, just sit back and shield type of support. Which me as a Janna main made me very furious because I don't know, it felt like you're a completely brain dead, clueless, unskilled type of player. Um, a lot of people have mixed feeling about this. They now think that Janna is unskilled now because she walks up and presses W and walks off and she deals damage because of it. And they think that this is unskilled. But the thing is, Janna, as she exists right now for the past 2 years, she doesn't even get any chance to express skill because there is no point in her walking up and press W because it deals no damage. Like it does, like right now the only thing you need to do is just press E and Q. That's it. There's no skill expression in current Janna apart from like team fights. In the laning phase, there's no skill expression with Janna at this point. There is no like auto attack weaving because you have such a low auto attack range that you're gonna lose pretty much every trade that you're gonna go for. At least with this Janna, the old new Janna, so to speak, you are incentivized to look for trades and put yourself into a dangerous position where you might have to outplay, you might have to express your skill on how good you are in like poking and harassing and backing off and dodging and all that. So I think that the new Janna that is going to exist after this patch is definitely more skill expressive than the previous one. Um, in any case, Janna base stats. Well, actually, let's read this thing here. Stats and abilities adjusted to fit the playstyle of a more aggressive harasser around your W and auto attacks. Duh. We've noticed that Janna's play rate has languished despite being a relatively strong pick in many skill brackets. Looking at her prior iterations, we identified elements that seem to really resonate with your potential player base. So we're bringing back some past versions of your abilities. Most importantly, we're shifting her from a low interaction champion who fishes for tornadoes and reactively shields into aggressive, high uptime auto attacker and Zephyr caster. Duh, a low interaction champion who fishes for tornadoes. Like, how is this skill expressive? You fucking idiots! Idiots! You've never played this champion before, and you dare speak about skill expression. Idiots! Many of these changes are just shifting incentives and power budgets around, with auto attacks and Ws becoming better and more frequent. She's losing some power in her Q, with mana cost going down to incentivize repeat Zephyr casts. Your mana pool follows suit. Overall, we expect her to max Zephyr before Eye of the Storm and play an aggressive harass based game. Thank you. Base stats, attack range 500, 550. Finally, thank you. Base mana 350, 360. Fine. Mana growth 64 to 50. That's a big dip. Health growth 84 to 90, so she's a bit more tanky now. Uh, Armor growth 5 to 4 to 4.5, so she's a bit less tanky now. Base AD 52 to 48. She got her AD buffed over the past 2 years to compensate for missing out on her on hit passive effects. So this is fine. She's gonna get this damage in her passive, I think. Attack damage growth 3 to 2.5, that's fine. Attack wind up 22% to 10%, this is big. Passive Tailwind, remove general no longer gains bonus move speed while facing allied champions. Okay, I think that goes to W, right? New Janna's basic attacks and W deal bonus magic damage equal to 20 to 35% based on level of your bonus movement speed. That's big. So she gets like more damage on her auto attacks and W, like the more MS she has, so like boots, W passive, etc. Howling Gale Q, mana cost 60 to 100 to 90 to 110. So her mana cost on her Q is now much bigger, and this is a spell she maxes last. So This is gonna sting a little bit for Janna, but this is not your primary thing at the moment. Like you're probably now supposed to use your Q reactively and not just face for Qs, which is fine in my opinion. Cooldown 12 to 14 seconds. Again, big nerf for your Q, but justified. Uh, Minimum damage 60 to 160 plus 35% AP to 55 to 195 plus 50% AP. Um, and maximum bonus damage 45 to 105 to 30 to 90 plus 30% AP. So what this does is that you are rewarded for hitting an instant Q, so like a reactive Q to deny somebody. You deal slightly less damage at rank 1, but later on in the game, which you're probably never gonna reach anyway, but let's, for the sake of argument, right? It costs more mana, so you are not advised to spam it. You have more cooldown on it, so you cannot spam it as much anyway, but you get more damage out of it, even more scaling out of it, like plus 35 damage at level 18, which is okay, that's fine. And 50% AP, which is also fine, so you can get maybe like 50 damage extra on an insta cast, but on a max cast, you're not getting that much more damage. So you're rewarded for using reactively instead of like trying to fish for it, which is fine. I think this is the supposed way to use your Q. Of course, there are still ways to like try to charge it up for its entirety and still like fish for stuff. Like in a team fight, for example, you can expect and like try to charge it up and then block something. The champion has skill expression, so shut the fuck up. W, Zephyr, cooldown 12 seconds to 9 to 7. Okay, finally, we're getting to the good stuff now. Finally, your W has a short cooldown now, so you can actually use it and be rewarded for it. Mana 50 to 90 to 50 to 70. So they reduce your mana cost on your W, but because you can spam it more often, it means that you are gonna run out of mana even more quickly now. But it's fine, if you know what you're doing, you should be fine with this. Damage 80 to 200 plus 60% AP to 55 to 195 plus 60% AP plus the passive damage. Um, Slow duration 3 seconds to 2 seconds. Uh, New Zephyr passive movement speed is no longer removed while on cooldown. Thank you. Okay, so what happens here is that you can cast W more often. It deals less damage initially, but as you get more movement speed through your W and through your like itemization, the damage becomes quite similar as before. But exactly because you can cast W more often, it means that even at rank 1, this overall deals more damage. Um, Even at level 1. Even though it's like 80 goes down to 55, overall it's more damage if you can cast your W on cooldown, which is massive. And yeah, if you even add the passive damage on top of it, then it does more damage anyway. So based on that, I think that yeah, you can definitely max W, like you have the incentive to do so. Slow duration going from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. I mean, it does hinder your ganking ability a bit, but the thing is, if you gank a lane with any other sort of crowd control, like for example, you go top and you gank a Jax, right? You use your W, you slow them down for 2 seconds, then Jax, counter strikes them for another 1.5 second. And once they get out of this whole like CC chain, you probably have your W up again, so you can use it again. So overall, I think this combined with this, I think, is a better crowd control combination than what we have right now. So overall, I love this. Finally, I can play like Arcane Comet Janna again. I love it. Eye of the Storm cooldown 15 to 9 seconds to 16 to 12 seconds. So based on the cooldown alone, you're probably not really incentivized to max E, but let's see the remaining changes. Mana cost 70 to 110 to 70 to 90. So, okay, gives you some value to maxing it. Shield 75 to 175 plus 50% AP to 80 to 220 plus 55% AP. So you get more base shielding, which means that you are incentivized to max the ability. Shield duration 5 seconds to 4 seconds. Shield no longer decays though, which is big. Janna no longer gains heal and shield power on crowd control, that's fine. New reduce cooldown by 20% of remaining cooldown on slow knockup max once per spell. Alright, so there's a lot to unpack on here E as well. So the cooldown goes up, that's fine. You have the chance to reduce the cooldown or the remaining cooldown as long as you land your Q and W and ult. So every other spell you cast, you have the chance to reduce the cooldown, um, which I think should bring the spell in line or even be a bit more, having more uptime on your E because of that, as long as you land your spells, of course. The shield duration is 4 seconds now, down from 5, but the shield no longer decays. So the shield decaying was a bit terrible. Of course, good Janus would use E to block big chunks of damage. So these two do not matter as much unless you are a bad Janna. You just randomly press E on people. Um, Janna no longer gains heal and shield power on CC. So before, if you used like your Q or your ult, you would be getting heal or shield power. But that's a thing that sometimes you will not even be getting in range, like use your Q or your W or your R um, to get that extra heal and shield power, right? Like in a team fight, you would use your E instantly just to save somebody, and the shield is like so low. And now you get a bigger shield regardless. So I think this is big. Um, so yeah, I think this is at least for me, this is a very good change for Janna. You can finally have fun playing her again as a aggressive support. Overall, I think this is a good patch. I think Victor is just missing from the attack speed changes, but apart from that, I think this is overall um, a great patch. So, yep, good job, Riot.